It was nighttime, and deep within the mountains, in the middle of a vast forest, stood an old rest house that people only used when absolutely necessary. The weather was cold, clouds hung low, and the air carried a strange dampness mixed with silence. 5 friends, who had come to shoot a documentary in the area, were forced to stay there due to the worsening weather. Outside, the darkness was so deep that even after closing the door, it felt as if the darkness was breathing inside. Arsalan, holding the camera, was peeking into every corner. He said, "This place is really old maybe. Something is actually here." There was mischief in his tone, but the others didn't take him seriously. Austin laughed and said, "Stop talking like that. Let the night pass, and we'll leave in the morning." They were eating when a loud crash came from the back room of the rest house. Everyone froze. Afak picked up a torch and slowly moved toward the sound, the others following behind. The room was small, and a broken wooden frame lay on the floor. But the strange part was that the frame had nothing in it, no picture, no glass, just empty. Arsalan said, "That sound wasn't just the frame falling. I heard footsteps too." He turned on his camera and pointed it toward the corner of the room. For a split second, something dark seemed to move on the screen, a shadow. But the moment everyone leaned in to look, it disappeared. No one could sleep that night. They sat in the lounge when footsteps suddenly echoed from the upper floor. Someone walking, stopping, then walking again. The upper floor had been closed for years. Even the wooden stairs creaked, as if someone was slowly coming down. A fox said, "I'm going to check." The others tried to stop him, but he insisted, "Whatever it is, we need to know." They climbed the stairs slowly, each step making a loud creak. At the top, they saw a long corridor, and at the far end, a door was open, as if someone had just pushed it. A cold draft hit them, carrying a strange smell, dampness mixed with something, like a place where someone had been shut in for too long. Inside the room was almost nothing, just a single wooden chair, and on that chair, someone was sitting. In the dim light, they could only see a faint human-like shape, dark and motionless. Austin whispered, Is that a person?" As soon as the torch light fell on it, the figure jerked upright. It had no eyes, only dark hollow pits. It didn't scream, didn't move, but its presence froze every drop of blood in their veins. They ran down the stairs, into the lounge, and tried to leave, but the storm outside was raging. Rain and wind made it impossible to go out. They shut the door and stepped back just as something slammed against the wall, then another wall, then the ceiling, as if the shadow had surrounded the entire house. Around 2 a.m., Arsalan's camera suddenly turned on by itself. He tried to switch it off but couldn't. The camera began recording on its own. On the screen, the same shadow was visible, slowly moving toward them. But in reality, nothing was there. Only the camera could see it, like it was showing them what human eyes couldn't. A fox said, "No one stopped us from going into that room, be it wanted us to see it. This place doesn't belong to us, it belongs to him." As soon as he said that, the main door swung open, and a fierce gust of wind blew inside. The lights went out. In the darkness, footsteps echoed from all directions. Suddenly Austin screamed, "Something is on my shoulder." When the torch turned on, there was a black handprint on his shoulder, as if something was pulling him. Arsalan said, "There's only one way. Whatever it is, we have to find what it's attached to. Maybe it's trapped here for a reason." They went down to the basement, where the original owner of the rest house kept an old storeroom. There they found an old diary, describing how a long time ago, a man had locked himself in a room and taken his own life. Since then, his spirit had never left. The last line of the diary made their breath stop. "If anyone breaks my silence, I will take them with me." At that moment, the basement door slammed shut. The light went out, only the sound of breathing and the roar of wind. Arsalan raised the camera. On the screen, the shadow stood between them, but they couldn't see it with their eyes. When he lowered the camera, it vanished. When he lifted it again, the shadow was even closer and closer, until its face became fully visible. Where eyes should have been, there were deep dark pits, and cracks ran across its face like broken wood. Then the camera shut off. In the morning, locals arrived at the rest house. The friends were found unconscious, but Arsalan was missing. The camera lay on the floor, When they played the final recording, it showed only one thing: the same dark shadow, leaning close to the camera, as if telling the viewer, "You have seen me now, and I will keep watching you." The answer, or ending of the story, is that the shadow was the restless spirit of the man who died alone in the rest house. Anyone who disturbed his silence became his permanent companion. Arsalan became his next victim, and the remaining friends lived forever haunted by that night. While searching for candles, Liam noticed a narrow hallway leading to a single closed door. Something about that door felt strange, as if someone was standing behind it waiting. He ignored his unease and returned to the others. They sat on the floor with the small lantern they brought, trying to pass time, but the stillness of the place wrapped around them. Suddenly a loud thud came from upstairs. Everyone froze. Mia whispered that the house should be empty, and Noah insisted it might be an animal. But the sound was too heavy and deliberate. Then came slow footsteps above them, moving directly over their heads. The four exchanged worried glances before deciding to go upstairs together. The wooden stairs creaked with every step. At the end of the hallway was the only door on the upper floor. It was wide open even though no one had gone up before. A cold draft moved past them as they entered the room. In the dim lantern light they saw a chair facing the window, and on it sat a man completely still. His back was toward them, shoulders stiff like carved stone. Liam called out to him, but the man did not move. When Noah stepped closer, the figure slowly turned its head. There was no face, just stretched skin where features should have been. The thing stood up with an unnatural jerk, and the room temperature dropped sharply. The lantern flickered and went out, plunging them into darkness. A breath they did not recognize exhaled near their ears, followed by a rasping whisper telling them they should not have come. They ran down the stairs, but the front door slammed shut before they reached it. The shadows in the corners lengthened as if something alive was crawling through them. The faceless figure appeared at the top of the stairs without a sound, head tilted as if observing them. When the lantern suddenly lit up again, it was standing behind Mia, its hand reaching toward her neck. They bolted into the storage room and barricaded the door. Something scraped against the wood from the other side like fingernails dragging across it. The scraping stopped for a moment, followed by complete silence. Noah leaned toward the door to listen. The door burst open with a violent force and he was pulled into the darkness outside the room before anyone could react. His scream echoed through the house and then vanished. The remaining three ran out, through a broken side window, and didn't stop until they reached the road. A passing truck picked them up and they begged the driver not to look back at the lodge. When the police searched the place the next morning, the lodge was empty and untouched, as if no one had been there for years. Noah was never found, but the officers mentioned something unsettling. The dust on the upstairs floor had a single set of footprints leading to the chair, but none leading away from it.